Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our WNCT Now early afternoon news update. I'm Kelsey O'Donnell here inside the digital studio with some of today's top news headlines in between our newscast. Now, we're monitoring a developing story this afternoon. A search is underway for a man and his 5-year-old son that went missing along the Neuse River in Goldsboro. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says the child fell into the water and his father jumped in to try to save him. Boats went in the water just after 8 o'clock this morning and have been there ever since in an effort to locate the two. The Wayne County Sheriff's Aviation Unit is also flying over the scene looking for the man and his son. Witnesses tell investigators they saw the boy fall into the river and his father jumped in to save him, but they never came back up. The man's other 7-year-old son was also there at the time, but the Sheriff's Office said he never got into the water. Now, first responders are doing a larger search of the area. We will continue to monitor this story and bring you the latest developments on air and online as we learn more information. In other news, we are continuing to track the latest developments with the coronavirus across the country. The White House COVID-19 response team reports 45 million Americans are now fully vaccinated, and more studies show that the shots work. Many school districts are reopening in response to that. The CDC director is warning Americans, though, that new infections are continuing and could impact efforts to return to the classroom. The CDC reports the new safety guidance decreases from 6 to 3 feet in social distancing, which allows more school districts to open. Pharmacies now have vaccinated more than 1 million K-12 teachers, staff, and child care workers. Officials say the CDC is still limiting recommendations for in-person learning at middle and high schools since those students are more likely to transmit the virus. Carolina East Medical Center welcomes back their hospital volunteers after temporarily shutting down the program. Hospital officials say the program was suspended last March due to COVID restrictions. Now volunteers can go back to help out healthcare workers, and today was their first day back, and the center rolled out the red carpet for the special moment. The hospital says they have about 400 volunteers in the program, and they are all fully vaccinated. More stimulus money is being sent to millions of Americans, but some people are having problems getting to those funds. 20 million checks have been sent out by direct deposit. 17 more will be sent through the Postal Service. Because the U.S. mail system continues to experience delays, those payments could take time to get to people. The best way to track your stimulus check is to use the Postal Service's Informed Delivery, which will track it through your mailbox. The IRS says some delays are due to married people whose past funds are withheld over a spouse's past due debts, but the agency is asking for patience because they are processing the backlog from the 2019 tax season as well as this year's tax return. Senators are pushing for an extension of the Paycheck Protection Program. The American Rescue Plan included additional cash for the Paycheck's Protection Program, but not an extension for the program itself. The program is set to expire in 1 week and still has $128 billion for grabs. Again, you can stay up to date with the latest information on our website at WNCT.com. We're continuing to monitor a heartbreaking crime in Boulder, Colorado, where 10 people lost their lives in a mass shooting. Organized vigils took place around the city, and dozens of people made their way to King Soopers. Matt Morrow shows us the growing memorial.
A busy Boulder street is where the crowds came on a Wednesday night.
And being here is just completely surreal.
Just steps beyond the steel fence of this ever-growing memorial, 10 people were senselessly killed barely 48 hours ago. Now, they'll never be forgotten.
It's overwhelming in a very good way. You can see the support to each other.
Gina Floyd's support comes in the form of flowers, now tied to the 10 crosses for Denny, Nevin, Ricky, Treylana, Suzanne, Terry, Kevin, Lynn, Jody, and Officer Eric Talley.
I come from a family of law enforcement, so I know very much what that is like and how it is to wonder if your father's going to come home every day. And, excuse me.
Gina also worked in security and would stop in this very King Soopers almost every night for a midnight snack. And years before, she worked at another one of these grocery stores.
I'm humbly proud that I could do something. It's not a lot, but you know, every little bit that's added here reminds each of us that we're all together.
All together and Boulder strong, something people here will never forget.
Our heart goes out to all of those affected by the incident in Boulder. Here in the East, Greenville city leaders will break ground today on a new Wildwood Adventure Park. The first phase of the groundbreaking ceremony will be held today at 5:30. The ceremony is an invitation-only event and members of the media are invited to attend, but it will also be broadcasted live for the public on the city's Facebook page. We'll have more information coming up this evening on our newscast at 5 and 6 p.m. That will officially do it for our WNCT Now early afternoon news update. Coming up this afternoon, Governor Roy Cooper will hold his COVID media briefing right here on WNCT.com. And I'll be back on later on at 4 p.m. with our late afternoon news update with some more of today's top news headlines. For now, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell here inside the digital studio. Thanks so much for tuning in.